All right, what's up, everybody? This is Nick Apostolidis, the voice of Leon Kennedy in the Resident Evil 2 remake and Infinite Darkness. And first of all, I just want to thank Puya and Sina for having me here. And it's really great to finally connect with all the fans in Iran. I just would love to make it there at some point and meet all you guys, because we all know that Resident Evil is it's a global phenomenon and people love it from all over the world. I've met people from all over the world, a lot in South America, but I would love to get overseas and meet you guys at a convention one day. So thank you for tuning in and hope you enjoy some questions. So let's get into it.
Thank you so much, man. It's such a great pleasure and great honor, man. Thank you so much. We're all looking forward to actually seeing you in Iran. We all wish it could happen someday.
And I mean that, yeah.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. How long have you been an actor for? And how did you get into voice acting, performance capture, motion capture, all that?
I've been acting since about 2010. Started small, student films, independent films. And when I moved to California a few years after I was in LA, I realized that voice acting and motion capture could be a viable career path. And I just tried to get into it. And then one day I just saw a breakdown. I saw an audition for Resident Evil 2 remake. I submitted. I poured my heart out in the submission. I said, I'm a huge fan. I got, and I booked that role. And that was actually the first voiceover motion capture project I ever booked. And then ever since then, I've been working pretty steadily in that part of the industry. So
nice. So how did you land the role of Leon S. Kennedy?
Just like any other role, I just went through the audition process. And I think I had to audition 3 times before I booked that role, because it was a big one. And I told the director and the casting director in the process before I was cast, something you should kind of never do. I don't recommend doing this, but I wrote them a big email explaining why I would be a good choice for Leon, and that's because I'm just such a big fan, and I've been playing the games for about 23 years at this point, legitimately like 23 years. And I poured my heart out, and I tried to exude my passion for the franchise. And I said, I'm not the only guy that can play this role, but if you cast me, I'll give you everything I got, I promise, So I wasn't begging for it. I was just trying to make them understand that I'd be a good option.
It worked, so.
Yeah. Good strategy.
I was told after the fact, they said that they did take that into consideration when going over the options. They had like maybe 5 guys they were going back and forth with.
Nice.
And they said, we looked at what you wrote to us, and it pushed you over the edge. So
nice. And how long did you work on the game?
That whole process was about 2.5 years. From the time I was cast until the time we officially wrapped. It was a long time.
Nick, you told us you've been playing Resident Evil franchise for 23 years. So you're a gamer, but how big of a gamer are you actually?
I've been playing video games for about 34 years. No, that's a lie. About 32 years I've been playing. Started with Atari. Went to Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PlayStation. Been a PlayStation guy all my life. Now I'm just getting into PC. I've been playing games for over 3 decades. Right now, I play a little bit more than I'd like to admit, but I just love it. I love the immersion. I just recently got into like online playing with people. Might start streaming soon. Saying that, but
that's cool.
I very much like single player games too, where you just like dive into something and you go on this journey alone and you experience the whole world. I'm a huge fan. I love games. Love them.
But what about the games you work on? Specifically the games you work on, what do you feel when you play them and you hear yourself and you see your own performance? How does that feel?
I think it doesn't really change much. I'm proud of the fact that I worked on these games, especially if it's a franchise that I love and I grew up with, like Resident Evil. But I was also able to separate myself from that. So the first time I ever turned on Resident Evil 2, yes, I was like, oh, this is going to be cool to see all the scenes that we filmed here and there. I remember all of them, but just to experience the game, like as a fan, this was also just a new Resident Evil game that came out. And you understand, like every time a new game came out, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, every time, like, when 4 came out, when 5 came out, when 6 came out, there was all that excitement leading up to it, because it's like, oh my, we're gonna see new monsters and new zombies and experience this new like story that we haven't seen yet, and there was that excitement too. So it was just, I think that overshadowed me being in the game. I got over my voices in there. I got over that pretty quick, and I remember the scenes that we filmed, but seeing it all in context within the story, I was seeing it for the first time. We filmed so much over 2.5 years, and we didn't necessarily film things in order, so it's kind of hard to see how the story is going to progress. So when I played the game for the first time with my younger brother, my older brother, my cousin, I was seeing it for the first time, and it was such a cool experience. So other franchises like Call of Duty, I don't do any voices for those. I don't play characters for Call of Duty. I do a lot of motion capture for games like that, Medal of Honor and stuff like that. So I play a lot of like AI characters or bodies in like the reveal trailers from new seasons and all that stuff. And I've recognized the characters I play, but it's just cool to be a part of games that I am a fan of, just because you feel like you contributed something to this wonderful game that a lot of people are playing.
All right, it's good that you mentioned Call of Duty and Medal of Honor, because I want to ask a few of your favorites, if you don't mind. Out of the games you worked on, which one, as a gamer, not that it's your job or how you performed or something, as a gamer, which one did you like the most? Which one did you enjoy the most?
As a gamer, I mean, I would have to say when the pandemic really hit hard in 2020 and everyone was kind of in lockdown and a lot of gamers were playing games all day long, me included. I was staying connected with my friends all across the country, and we really just dove into Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, and we were playing, Battle Royale and online multiplayer. We did that for like 8 months solid, and that was my social life. And I had done a little mocap on Warzone, and we did it a little bit through like past 2 years. I did Vanguard. We worked on Cold War. I work on this great team of great guys and girls, and I would say I enjoy playing that the most, because that represents a big part of my social life. Has been Warzone for the past 2 years, 2.5 years. So I'd say maybe that one.
Nice.
Warzone's pretty big now too. So I played a little bit of it. It's so much fun, especially with friends.
Yeah.
I don't play it alone. I only play it with friends.
Yeah. It can be tilting alone. It can really mess with your head. Yeah. So out of the RE characters, though, every RE character in the franchise, apart from Leon, because obviously you have a bias for it, apart from Leon, which one is your favorite? Which one do you like the most?
I get 2 other favorites. Leon was
you can name 2.
Leon was my favorite. He has been since before I was cast as him. I connected with him. But I also always loved Sheva from RE5. I think she's a very underrated character. I thought they should have brought her back a long time ago. She was fantastic. Yeah. And also I'm just a huge fan of Barry. Barry's always been one of my favorites, and I would love if they portrayed Barry well in a live action movie. They never have.
Never.
Out of the RE games, I mean, you've worked on Resident Evil Remake 2. Out of the RE games, except that one, which one do you like the most? Which one, captured you the most?
I always tell people that 4 was always my favorite, and I think the reason why is because my excitement level for that game when it came out, the whole like 6 months prior, was off the charts. I just recently got into the franchise. In 98, I played Resident Evil 2 for the first time. That was my first entry to the series. Loved it. And then I realized, obviously, it's a sequel. So I went back. I played the original. So I did it backwards. I loved them both. And then shortly after that, 3 came out. And obviously, I picked that up. And I was like, oh my God, this franchise is awesome. And then just a few years later, 4, big game, like a big change game. 4 was coming out. And my younger brother, David, was 9 years old when that game came out, and he was just old enough, I felt, for me to introduce him. Like I introduced him to Nintendo and Super Nintendo. He was playing like Mega Mans and stuff like that, Mario. I wanted him to get into like more mature content at age 9. The good stuff. And I thought he was ready. And so I introduced him to 4, and I said, hey, this is going to be a scary game. He's like, okay. And so we played that together. I scared the shit out of him. it has been our favorite franchise since that day that we played 4 together, and we've played 4 together 100 times. And so for nostalgic reasons, 4 is always going to be one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's such a great experience. I mean, playing the games is fun, but playing it with your family or your friends or close friends is just on another level.
Yeah,
it's so much
true.
fun.
Yeah. And since then, since 4 came out, basically, it's a tradition of ours that when a new Resident Evil game comes out, I wait until I can play it with my little brother. That's always been our thing. And so when my game, we don't live in the same state. We live pretty far away, and we're both busy. So when my game came out, I waited 6 months to play it so I could link up with him and play it together. 6 months, and then when Village came out, I had to wait like 7 months to play Village.
All right, what was his reaction when he found out that, you were the next Leon Kennedy?
Oh, he freaked out. Maybe not as much as me, but he freaked out.
Nice.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, it's a dream come true, man. I understand how he felt. Yeah.
It was very much a dream come true for me. Yeah.
All right. So, was there anything about Leon that was influenced by your own characteristics?
Yes, and that was really cool. So I think after the audition process, I was asking a lot of questions. As a fan, I said, this guy has been portrayed by so many actors. He's got so much. What's the word I'm looking for? He's established. It's a very established character. And I said, what do you want me? Do you want me to watch the performances of this game and this game and this game? And they said no. They said this is a reimagining. We're okay to take some liberties and change a little bit here and there, but they said the reason that we cast you was because we thought that your personality and your essence, that's what we want for the new Leon. And so I got to add in a lot of some new lines and everything. And they would often ask me in a scene, like, how would you respond in this situation? And I don't know, I'd respond like this. I would say this, and they're like, all right, say it. So yeah, I got to inject a lot of my life and my experiences into the characters. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's not just Leon that we've seen. We also seen a part of you. We also seen Nick, doing all that Leon does. That's cool,
Absolutely. Man. The character in 2 is very, very similar to who I am. So if I was in that situation, a lot of that would be me. Yeah.
All right. So you like Ada? Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, she is. A friend of mine wanted me to ask this. He wanted me to ask you, did you have to watch Leon the Professional in order to play the role of Leon S. Kennedy?
The answer to that is no, but I have seen that movie many times.
Because there's a few references to Leon's main gun is called Matilda. It's
yes.
Natalie Portman's character in the movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And yeah, so was he like, did that movie kind of influence the character of Leon Kennedy?
You're saying in my opinion?
Yes, if you can't say more than that.
I'm pretty sure that's why they even called him Leon.
Yeah.
I think whoever the director of the original game, whoever that was back in the day, I think maybe aspects were heavily inspired by that movie. Of course, they made him much younger. I mean, Leon in the movie was, I don't know, maybe like a 45-year-old man, professional spec ops type guy, right? But I think they took some inspiration for sure.
All right. No worries.
I don't know that as a fact. I'm just guessing.
Okay. That's good enough. Thanks, man. All right. Next question. Sina, go ahead.
So the other work you've done as Leon is, of course, on Resident Evil Infinite Darkness for Netflix, right?
Yeah.
How would you compare them? What was the difference between working Leon for Resident Evil Remake 2 and for Infinite Darkness?
He definitely came from a different place in his head. He was older. He's been through so much. He had a different attitude. So I got to be a little bit more like cowboy type Leon. Where that's I wanted to be a little bit more badass in the 2 remake, but he was so young. He was a rookie, and they kept reeling me back. And they're like, no, he's not that badass yet. And I was like, okay. Then when we did Infinite Darkness, I had a little bit more freedom with that stuff. The filming process was completely different, very fast. So we filmed Resident Evil 2 in 2.5 years. We filmed Infinite Darkness in about 11 days.
Oh, 11 days?
About
That's
11
it?
Days.
How?
It's quite fast.
It's very fast. And the other difference is I had the full script. It's hard to explain. Infinite Darkness was shot just like TV or film. It was very linear. You see the plot, you see episode 1, 2, 3, 4 all laid out, and you can see the arcs of the characters. It's easy to follow. When we did 2, all I had was just a jumbled mess of various scenes, and they were given to us at different times. So we might have filmed a scene for the end of the game in 1 month, and then a year later, we filmed scenes that happened before it. So it was very difficult to see the arc, and so we just had to trust cinematics director Tom Keegan, and he had an intimate understanding of the arcs in the games, and we just made sure we're on the same page. But I guess with Infinite Darkness, things were just a bit more clear. I also got to do a lot of stunt work on Infinite Darkness. I've been a stunt guy for a long time. In Resident Evil 2, they didn't want me to do anything extremely physical because if I got hurt, production is kind of fucked. With Infinite Darkness, that stunt team in Japan, first of all, they were awesome. They were badasses, but they were also great because they trusted me and they let me do so much of my own stuff. So I got to bring my physicality into the role, and I loved that, you know?
Yeah, 2.5 years on Resident Evil 2 remake, a game, and then 11 days on a Netflix series. Which one was your favorite? I mean, let's not put you on the spot. Which one did you enjoy more? Short-term focused, clear project with the badass Leon, or the game that you really had no clear idea of what was going on and it took a long time, but it was the game that you were really a fan of?
Definitely the game. If I had to choose, it's the game, because that was my first major motion capture project. It happened to be one of my favorite franchise. It's hard to top that. And plus, when you watch Infinite Darkness, you might watch it once or twice, but people are still playing RE2 remake, and they're going to be.
Yeah, I'm actually going to hit it up after this interview for sure.
Same. Yeah.
People are going to be playing it for 20 years, and I will play and still enjoy it. Like, every encounter is different, every experience, every time you play it is slightly different. So I just think being a part of that is just a little bit more special to me. Not that Infinite Darkness wasn't awesome, because I had a blast doing that, but you put me on the spot and you're asking me to pick one, so I did.
I mean, you enjoyed both, a little bit more on the game side, right? You're a gamer, so.
Of course, that's exactly why, yeah. I don't watch much TV.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, so you've worked on 3 Call of Duties, and you also worked on Resident Evil 2 Remake. How are they different? Working on each, how is the Resident Evil franchise working on that is different from working on Call of Duty?
There's a big difference. So a lot of people don't realize there's different kind of departments of motion capture that you could do as a performer. There's the cinematics. That's what we did for RE2. That you film that like a movie all the time. You know, it's you have a script. You get the character arcs and everything, but then I'm hired mostly in motion capture just to be motion capture bodies. In Call of Duty, yeah, sure, we did some cinematics with the reveal trailers for new seasons, but we also do just a shitload of like dying and stunts, you know, all those, the melee kills, you know, when you sneak up behind somebody, like Sina, you know this stuff, you guys have played Call of Duty, we sneak up behind someone with melee kills, like that all has to be recorded in motion capture, and they update things constantly with DLC. I mean, they're still updating Warzone. It's been like 3 years now. So when they need updates, I don't work all the time with that team. But sometimes they call me on and we do just like new things, new moves and everything. And that's just mocap. So it's fun as hell. I love doing it. And that's what we were doing yesterday on another project. But I wouldn't say that I'm like emotionally invested in that. Yeah. It's like if they call me and say, hey, you want to do some stunts on next Thursday? Cool. All right, cool. I'll see you then. We'll do them.
It's just a job.
It's a job that I very much love. But when I know that I'm going to be playing a character that millions of other people are going to be playing a game through my character, you can't even compare the two.
Yeah.
You know, so I would just say, like, you know, playing the character, doing cinematics, that's what I want to do in my career. I want that to be the next 15 years of my life. Those opportunities come by a little bit less frequent than just mocap stuff. But, you know, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
It's funny though. Every time you mention like motion capture and stunts, you have a smile on your face.
Yeah, he gets excited.
Yeah, you really love it. But I think it's just it hits a different spot than playing a character in games. And you're such a big fan of games, and it's just different enjoyments, right? You take different enjoyment from the jobs.
Yes, I do. And honestly, if I could balance my time between the two and do cinematic acting, half the time, and then stunts and just body work, I'd be happy. If that was my only job in life, I'd be happy.
Set for life.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah.
So you've done Resident Evil 2 remake, and you've done Infinite Darkness, of course, and you've played the games before, so you have a pretty good understanding of the character. And then there's the portrayal of Leon in the live action films of Resident Evil. What do you think about them, and how do you think they're different from the games, the original stories, and the remakes?
Oh, that's a question. I just get really disappointed with the live action movies. Us gamers who love the franchise, I think we all have our own opinions. They're not widely loved by a lot of the hardcore gaming fans. There are the Resident Evil movies from, what's his name? Anderson, Paul W. Anderson. That's the guy who directed all those.
No idea.
I'm not sure about the director.
The ones with Mila Jovovich. Like, that whole series.
I've seen them.
They have their own fan base, but I think there's a big disconnect with like the game fan base and then the movie fan base. I'm on that train because I just think they could have done it better. And then the new one came out, Welcome to Raccoon City.
That was bad.
Same kind of thing. They just cheapen the IP when they do things like that and cut corners and have small, tiny budgets. I get disappointed. So Leon is in there with my disappointment. Not that it was horribly portrayed by the actor, whoever that was, but those characters just don't have the heart of the characters in the games. In one of the Mila Jovovich movies, they had Barry in there, and the guy who played Barry, he's a good actor. His name is like Kevin Durant or something like that, or whatever. But he's not Barry. They just threw a red vest on this actor, had him grow out a beard, and said that's Barry. No, it's not. They just don't write good characters for these movies, for the games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they seem to fall a little bit short every time they try to transfer the franchise into another medium.
It's probably a tough job. Like, it's maybe not all their fault. Probably really tough, and that's why we're not booming with crossover game movies. But it's just I just get disappointed. That's all. That's my opinion.
The heart of a gamer.
Yeah.
I was really surprised when you said those movies had a fan base or something. I had no idea that's actually true.
Well, there's a reason why they made like 7 of them.
Yeah, because I thought like gamers went to the movies to give them another chance. Maybe this time it's gonna be a good movie, and then it wasn't. And then the next movie they did the same thing. That's what I thought. I had no idea that these guys actually had a fan base, because they were so bad.
The only reason a movie gets a sequel is because it makes money.
Yeah,
it's the only reason.
Yeah, obviously.
So it's got a fan base.
All right. Okay. So what part of Resident Evil 2 remake do you personally think scared Leon the most? What part scared you the most?
Oh, that's a good question. You're saying what part scared me when I was playing the game?
Yes, and also when you were, acting as Leon and putting yourself in that kind of situations.
Okay, that's a tougher question. Let me answer the second part of that first. As a gamer, Mr. X was the only real part of the game that made me freak out. And when he started chasing me around for the first time, you're experiencing that. And still, when I play the game, because you never know where he's gonna come from, he still to this day gives me anxiety when I'm playing, because I hear the footsteps. I'm like, oh fuck. So, I would say Mr. X, 100% for me. Now for Leon, let's see. Good question. I think it would definitely be the beginning when he first comes in, like maybe like the part where he's like crawling through the shutter, because he's starting to realize, oh my goodness, everyone's dead. Oh my God. And he crawls through and he finally meets a human. But I think maybe before that point, right before he gets to the shutter, when he crawls through, I think that would probably be his scariest time there. Before he starts to figure it out and say, okay, I'm going to fight some big guys now. Okay. All right. I got this.
First time that he sees the scope of what's happened, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And you talked about Mr.
Nice
X.
answer.
There was no motion capture for him, right?
Not that I know of. I think that was strictly animated.
Okay.
For the next question, I'm going to ask you a two-part question, if you don't mind. Have you worked on any other RE characters? And if you have not, which one would you choose to work on? Which one would you like to work on?
That's a good question. I don't know if this counts, but for Infinite Darkness, all of us, there was a very small cast who played the main roles. But there were a lot of people in that series, and just the way that they film, a lot of the males, even Claire, like Stephanie Panicello, she actually did all of the motion capture for Shenmei because she was on set, another female character. And so, you know, I even did some mocap for President Graham in Infinite Darkness, and also like some of the smaller roles when they needed multiple people in the scene. So those aren't, I guess, like Resident Evil characters. President Graham, sure. But other than that, no. Leon was the only person I mocapped. Let's see. And you said, what was the second part of your question?
If you could choose another character to work on, which one would you choose?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I mean, I want to say Barry, but I don't think I have the gravitas to be Barry, because he's just like a 60-year-old badass, and he's bigger and burlier. So I don't think I would step into his shoes. I wouldn't want to. I would want to cast the person who does. That's what I would want to do, and finally do him right. You know,
Do Barry justice.
Yeah.
I would actually love to do the motion capture for a monster, a BOW. I think that would be cool.
Oh, like Neil Newborn for Nemesis, right? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that would be really awesome.
They call it creature works, right? That's what they call it.
Yes.
Creature? Yeah.
Yes, and I think that would be fun as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. It gives the monster some like real character. Gives it a personality, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
great.
out of all of Leon's potential romantic partners, who do you think he should end up with?
That's a good question too. I don't know. I was always partial to Jill myself, but my answer would be Sheva.
Nice.
Yeah, of course. You mentioned her before.
They haven't actually met in the series, right? Have they?
No, they never met. But I liked her so much that I drew her. I did some Resident Evil fan art of Sheva.
Oh.
Just always been one of my favorites.
Is there any way you could show us your drawing?
Yeah. Somewhere. Let's see. I
Thank
don't know
you.
if you guys knew that, but I do a lot of Resident Evil fan art.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know?
Where can we find it?
Actually, if you let's see, I can hold them up, but you can also go on my website and you can see them.
Yeah.
Can I send a link here?
If it's on your website, I can just find it and I'll put it on the video when I'm gonna edit it out. I'm just put everything on there.
If you just go to my name, there's nickapostolides.com, and you'll see a tab for like art posters, and you'll see all the art that I've done.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, I pulled it up. Yeah, there's a lot of them there, and they look cool.
Thank you. I started making those during the pandemic in 2020. I started doing some more artwork because I've been drawing all my life, but I took a big break from it, and then I just had a lot of time on my hands, and I said, "Hey, well, let's do some art for the franchise." So I just do graphite art. Oh, no, I didn't. Sheva is the only one I haven't added to that online, so I'll grab her. Hold on. All right, so this is my baby right here.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great, man.
This was a commission that I did for one of my fans, and yeah, I was happy that she requested Sheva because I love her so much.
That's really good, man. How much do you sell those for?
It depends kind of where I am, but online we do like live signings. Send those out for like I think $45 I charge, and I'll sign each one personally, and I'll put any kind of quote or dedication that you want on it. So I'll cover it with all kinds of stuff, birthday gifts or gifts to yourself or anything like that, and I'll ship them out.
Nice.
RE7, Nick. RE7 came out, and then there was no Leon, and then RE8 came out, and there was no Leon. So where is Leon during all these events?
Maybe vacation, Disney World, I don't know.
I mean, we've seen Chris, but there's no Leon, and we miss Leon, man. Like, RE4 remake is the only hope we have to see him again.
Well, I hope that, I mean, what they're starting to do, I hope they continue with the Resident Evil series on Netflix, because what they did was they started to explain in between game timelines, like little subplots.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at, if you watch Infinite Darkness, there are references to Tricell. And if you played Resident Evil 5, Tricell was all in 5. And so if this is my opinion, I don't know anything about a season 2. If they do a season 2, they might bring back Chris and Sheva and maybe explain what happened right before 5 or right after 5. Like, I don't know. And so if they continue with this, they might start to explain like where these characters are in those timelines that we haven't seen yet. So that would be really cool. I don't know where Leon's been.
I hope they expand on the universe and give us a little bit more info.
Yeah,
it would be cool. It would be really cool.
Okay, what is your favorite line from Resident Evil 2 Remake?
I always liked when he says, "Whatever it takes to save this city, count me in." I like that because that just speaks volumes to who his character was in that game. You know, he just wanted to do the right thing. And so I just think that's a very genuine line from him.
Yeah, and he's really young there too. So for him to say that at that age, it means a lot. It says a lot about who he is.
Exactly.
I mean, that part of his character is the exact reason why he got played by Ada, right? Up till the end, because he just wanted to do good.
He was an easy target, but he calls her out at the end, and
yeah. All right.
And he calls her bluff with the with the gun and everything like that.
Yeah, true. So what is your favorite enemy in Resident Evil 2 Remake?
Favorite enemy, I would say, again, I just think I loved Mr. X. I loved his mechanism in the game, how he worked. I loved that about him, but I was always a big fan of the lickers.
Yeah,
too.
They're scary.
Yes. I mean, fan is a very strong word you're using, Nick.
Those freak me out. Those freak me out too. So, like X, like the lickers can really mess up like a nice game run, you know, because you'll be going through these hallways and like, even if you're being quiet, this is like a thing for me. I don't understand this. They always say, as long as you don't run, as long as you just walk, a licker won't get you. Every time I sneak by a licker, he's in the wall. He comes towards me and kills me anyways. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
What's the point? So
exactly, yeah.
And I want.
They just randomly run into you when you're sneaking.
For me, every time.
Coincidence.
I have never successfully snuck by a liquor, so I'm like, fuck this, fuck it. So I just usually whip out like a shotgun and just fuck them up.
Yeah. What is your favorite location in Resident Evil 2 Remake?
It's a good one.
The RPD. It's the RPD because it's just such an iconic place, and I remember as a kid when I first played the original 2, going into a police station and trying to find the keys to unlock doors. Like, there's just almost nothing that tops that for me, for like my first like scary experience as a gamer. That was the first one. It's just something about it. Raccoon City, like right there.
It's the way they unlock the place for you. I think I remember my experience. I was like, okay, we're in a station, and then there's a second floor, and then you go on, and there's a third floor.
It's never ending. Yeah.
You go forward, and then there's another wing to the building, and then you're playing for like a couple of hours, even more, and you're like, this place never ends. I haven't finished exploring it, and we haven't left yet. It's so big and just so iconic. Yeah.
What I loved about it was that you had to explore because you needed supplies to survive. You had to explore, but exploring was perilous because you like, oh, I have to go back into that hallway and there's a liquor there, shit. But you have to, and so it forces your hand, and that's what I liked about the design of the RPD.
And then there's the Resident Evil Mr. X lurking.
He's lurking everywhere. Yeah, it's awesome. Perfect.
So I'm gonna ask you to do something, if you don't mind. I'm gonna ask you to do a line for us.
Sure.
from Leon.
Okay.
So there's a line where Leon says, "Chew on that, you overgrown son of a bitch."
It's a very cheesy one.
Sorry for my language. Yeah, it's a cheesy one.
I love that one.
All right.
Can you enact that? Reenact that.
I will. I'm not gonna do a full volume because I don't know if I get neighbors and everything. I'll do medium volume.
All right, go ahead.
Chew on that, you overgrown son of a bitch. How's that?
Oh man,
That's amazing.
that was
That's
awesome.
Fantastic.
That was awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, loved it.
That's cool.
All right. What would you or Leon, whichever you prefer, would say to the fans in Iran, everybody who plays the game and of course knows your voice and knows your motion and of course knows your name and has been a big fan of the series?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting me all these years. Just because I haven't talked with many of you doesn't mean that we don't appreciate you. So thanks for supporting the game. Thank you for making it a classic, a global classic. It was so well received when it came out, and we would love to come to conventions. I don't really know what the scene looks like in Iran with conventions and stuff. I think the world is just starting to open up. If we can come and meet you one day, we would love to, because we know that the fan base is all around the world, every continent, even there in Australia, South America, the Middle East, like everywhere. We want to come to see you. So thank you so much for your support. And I do hope that this interview gives you some nice BTS insight to what it was like to portray this guy.
Thank you, man. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. And what would Leon say, to his fans in Iran if he knew that he had fans in Iran and, they were watching him play or kill all those zombies and monsters? What would he say?
Leon would say, "Is this a fucking joke?" That's what he would say.
That's just amazing.
Maybe he wouldn't say that, but
So traditionally at the end of my interviews, I teach the guests some Persian phrases. I'm going to teach you some. Well, the first one is, how in the beginning of the game there is a sign that says "Welcome to Raccoon City." I'm just going to teach you how to say that in Persian.
okay.
So it goes like this: Be Raccoon City. Sorry. Be شهر راکون خوش اومدید.
Wow, that was quick. You're going to slow down a little bit.
به شهر راکون خوش اومدید.
I wish I had like these written down. I could read.
All right, we go word by word. Yeah.
Word by word.
به
Be.
شهر
Yeah.
Shakre.
شهر
Shakre.
It's
More or less, yeah.
SHAHR.
Shakre.
شهر راکون
Raccoon.
خوش
Kush.
اومدید.
Umadi.
Almost perfect. Awesome.
I would say that was perfect.
It was.
10 out of 10.
All right, another one. It's my catchphrase. It means good on you. It goes like this: Baba barikalla. Baba barikalla.
Baba Buddy Chajo.
Yep. That was good. Yeah, that was
And then
good.
you clap, go along
That
with
was,
it.
that was 11 out of 10, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man. All right, is there anything you'd like to teach him, Sina?
No, would you like us to translate one of Leon's lines for you? Maybe try Leon's voice. It would be fun, I think.
I like when he does confront Ada on the catwalk at the end. I love when he says, "Then you go ahead and you shoot me, but I don't think you can."
Right.
Yes.
All right.
It's gonna be 2 sentences. It's gonna take 5 minutes to say that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a long one. It's like زود باش بهم تیر بزن ولی نمیتونی. It's a long one. So زود باش means go ahead, hurry up, go ahead. زود باش.
Zud Bush.
Shoot me is بهم means to at me. بهم شلیک کن. Shoot me.
Behem Shalichkon.
Yeah. زود باش بهم شلیک کن ولی but I don't think you can or but you can't. Which one does Leon say?
I don't
I don't
think.
think you can.
Yeah.
ولی فکر نکنم بتونی. Oh, it's a long one. ولی means but. ولی.
Valley.
فکر نکنم means I don't think.
Fekshana.
فکر نکنم. فکر نکنم.
Fetch Nakanam.
Yeah, more or less. فکر نکنم بتونی. You can.
Betuni.
Right.
Nice.
So it goes like
Now say the whole sentence.
باش زود باش
There's no reality where I can get the whole thing.
شلیک کن ولی فکر نکنم بتونی. Oh, that's a long one. There's no way.
That's a whole essay, man.
I'm sorry we put you through this. This is difficult.
I didn't know you were going to make me say it. I would have chosen a 3-word line.
Thanks for doing this, man. It means so much. So what's next for Nick Apostolides? Did I say it right?
That was pretty good.
Alright.
I'm just figuring out my next big move with you know, I'm working here and there. I'm enjoying my time off. I'm not traveling as much as I was in the past year and a half, and that's why I can make this happen. So I'm really just enjoying my downtime is what I'm doing, and figuring out where I want to live next, whether it's in Los Angeles or Canada, and keeping busy, enjoying the days, and keeping connected with people. So it's not that exciting, but for me, it's essential.
Awesome.
Well, can I ask something, Nick? You said you want to stream. You want to start streaming again, right?
It's possible because I play so many games, and I know that a lot of people would join along, and I just don't know if you know, doing the whole like tech side of it and being like so connected like that. Like when playing video games for me is, yeah, it's easy for me to jump on like Warzone and play with my friends and just talk and whatever. That's easy. And playing games by myself is easy, and that is it's kind of an escape for me. And the only thing holding me back from like jumping into streaming is I don't think that would be an escape for me. It would be like another kind of thing to like figure out, and it would be like a baby to raise.
Yeah.
You know? Be like raising a
You can't
child,
be
like
fully relaxed, right?
building a community, and I wouldn't be able to be fully relaxed, and so I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that yet. I love joining people on their streams, like it's their community, and I just kind of hang out as a guest, and there's a lot of people, a lot of fans there. But maybe one day I might start on a very, very small scale, but I wouldn't be like one of those streamers who goes 3, 4, 5 times a week. I could never do that. I could guarantee that. But maybe like
Yeah, the reason
once or twice a month, I might do it.
The reason I asked was it was a out of personal curiosity, because I wanted to follow you if you were gonna stream, because
I have a Twitch.
Of course.
You can join my
Yeah.
Twitch. You can follow.
All right, I'll Google that up right
Yeah,
now.
you also got a YouTube channel, right? You don't post much in it, but you do have it.
I do, but yeah, I don't use that for
Yeah.
any specific purpose right now. But if
Do you
I
mind
started
mentioning,
It's just his full name, yeah. Just search that.
yeah, you'll find me on YouTube easy.
Yeah.
There's not much. I don't post for that purpose. But let's see. If you go on my Instagram, Sina, there's a link tree.
Oh, yeah.
all your socials are on the link tree.
Yeah, and you'll find Twitch.
All right,
Awesome.
got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much. It honestly means a lot to me and so many others. You can't even believe it. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
If there's good conventions in Australia, we would love to go to Australia. I've never been to Australia. We almost did a building project there, so we would love to go there. And Sina, if you have any connections with conventions, just reach out to those people and just say, hey, you got to invite the Resident Evil cast, and you know, mention our names.
Of course.
And if I came, I would be in my Leon cosplay too.
Nice. I've seen photos of that. I love it. Yeah.
Cherry on top.
I'm going to be selling my art at a convention in Utah, in the States here, and in about less than 2 weeks, and I'll be in my cosplay. I haven't donned the cosplay in about 2 years, and I'm really excited.
Please take photos, man. Please put them up on Instagram or somewhere.
I will. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure, man.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Nick.
Have a great day.
Enjoys this.
Thank you, sir. Have a great one. Bye.